Okay, today we are going to discuss about HDLC, High Level Data Link Control Protocol. First of all, till the last class, we have discussed the protocols which are there is a one sender and one receiver. That's it. Yes or no? We have discussed about only one sender and one receiver. Only one sender and one receiver. We do not have multi links, multiple point links kind of things. We do not have multiple receivers. We do not have in all the protocols which we have discussed. Okay, this is the first data link protocol which we are discussing. It is a bit oriented. That means whatever the data is transferring, that is bit oriented, byte oriented protocol where bit stuffing it is going to take to control the frame, to make the frames in the large data, and as well as it is going to communicate over point to point and multi-point links. That means if the link is connected with the multiple can you hear me, ma? Are you able to wait a while? Please let me know. Can you hear me properly? If you have any issues in the network or my voice, please let me know. First of all, I want to check, otherwise it will be very nasty thing to recover all the things once again. Please, no one is there or you are not listening? Okay, all is clear. Okay, done. Okay, now we are going to learn about HDLC, which is point to point as well as multi-point links. That means one link is connected to the multiple devices which are multiple receivers. Okay, the sender is one only, but receiver are the multiple receivers would be there, and we are going to send the packets or the frames to that particular multiple links in this data link control protocol, high level data link protocol. First of all, this data link protocol is developed by IBM. On that time they named it as synchronous data link protocol, synchronous SDLP. Okay, SDLC, data link control protocol, SDLC they called it as synchronous data link control protocol. But after that, this is the best thing. That's the reason the it is to take over by ISO, International Standard Organizations, and they modified its name as the high level data link control. And this is the basic thing, and which is going to this is the basic and the best protocol which are used in the data link layer, and this is the most used protocol all over the world. And this is the base for most of the protocols, other protocols. With the help of these algorithm, some other people has developed their own protocols using this is the but this is the base protocol for till now. This is the base protocol for data link layer which we are using right now. Also most of the companies are using the same protocol, HDLC, as well as some of their used this particular protocol as the base, and they have uh, modified their protocol as their requirement. Okay, we are going to see here today. We are two common transfer modes. HDLC provides two common transfer modes. First one is normal response mode. Next one is synchronized balance mode. Okay, synchronized balance mode, normal response mode, and synchronized response mode, that we are going to see in the next thing. First of all, here I have normal response mode. In this I have one primary station. First thing, in point to point, I have in the normal response mode also we have two things, point to point and multi point. In the first point to point, we are going to see one primary station and secondary station, one another secondary station. We have two stations that are two nodes, primary node, one is primary node, second is the secondary node. Okay, whenever primary node consists used to send the command, that means the request, either you can call it as request or the command. Most probably we will call it as command, to send the command, we use primary node, and the secondary node is used to send the responses. That means whenever you are as your simple language, you are, whenever you are typing something in your Google Chrome, typing for yahoo.com or google.com. Okay, whenever you are typing, you are the primary primary node, and the response came from the Google server. That is the secondary node. So whenever I'm saying, taking this is as example, when you are sending a command by typing google.com or yahoo.com, it is going to give you the response, in the response from the secondary node, that is Google server, Google server, or the Yahoo server. With the help of that particular thing, it is going to response. This is the point to point communication between the two nodes. Okay, whenever I am requesting multi point, okay, primary point, it is going to send the command. The responses come from the different types of servers. That means the secondary things has the multiple number of servers are there. They have their own the things. In that case, it is going to that all the two secondary devices, the secondary devices are going to send me the response from the secondary devices to primary. This is the normal response mode. In the normal response mode, the station configuration is unbalanced. Here we are not using any balanced thing, it is unbalanced thing. Okay, primary station and multiple secondary stations would be there. As you see on your screen, we have point to point and multi-point things. So primary station and multiple secondary station you will have. The primary station can send commands and secondary station can respond on particular. Primary station is going to send the command, and secondary sends the responses. Okay, this is the normal response mode. Okay, normal response mode is used to both point to point and multi point. In both the conditions, it is going to use in the normal response mode. This is the first response mode of your common transfer modes. Okay, normal response mode and asynchronous transfer mode. Next, we are going to see asynchronous transfer mode. In this, we are, first of all, we are having command and response, but the both secondary and the primary devices nodes are combined into one device. That means my device can send the command and get the response, as well as my device can send the response also to the other devices. As like your current your laptops, if you are installing any server on your laptop, in that case it can access the services from the google.com, as well as if the someone is accessing your servers, whatever you install on your system, that is the nothing but your combined thing. That means your machine also, your laptop can also respond to the other system which are accessing your device information, your information, whatever the server you want to develop. Okay, asynchronous transfer balanced mode, it is the asynchronous balanced mode. Okay, it is configured, its configuration is balanced mode. Each stations can send and receive the information. Okay, okay, these both are combined into one thing, that is the combined node, that is the combined node. Okay, this is the basic thing about your asynchronous. Till now we have seen in the last sessions, we have seen one side. That means from one side we are going to send the information to the receiver. Sender has to send the information to the receiver. In this case, what happens, there must be the link is very strong, and it can capable of sending the most information to the receiver. But the receiver cannot simultaneously send the information to the sender. That is the called as the piggybacking in your uh, computer networks. This is the nothing but whenever I'm sending some information, the normally the sender cannot respond on that particular information simultaneously. That is called as the, it is not even the acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement, even it cannot send the, till whatever we have seen the protocols, the in that protocol there is no information about the piggybacking. That means at the same time the sender can send the information to the receiver, and receiver can send the acknowledgement or the negative acknowledgement to the sender to by using piggybacking concepts, but it is not possible in that particular thing. But in our HDLC protocol, we are continuously using, we can have the piggybacking concept. That means whenever you are sending the information, whenever you are sending the information from sender to receiver, primary to secondary, in the same time the secondary node can send the response to the primary nodes with the help of HDLC. How it is going to do that, we are going to see in the next slides. Okay. First of all, we are going to have the clear picture. First of all, overall picture of your HDLC protocol. Okay. First of all, we will have the overall picture of your HDLC. First, we have normal response mode, asynchronous response mode. Okay, asynchronous balance mode, not response mode. Asynchronous balance mode. We have discussed about the thing. Okay, what will happen in the these two modes. Okay, we will go with a balanced thing. That means we are going to have the, what is the overall thing HDLC protocol will do. Okay, we have the frame format of your HDLC protocol. First of all, we have the frame format of your HDLC protocol. Okay, here we are seeing beginning sequence, ending sequence. Why we use beginning and ending sequences in our frame? These are the flags we have discussed in the last sessions, that if my data, the data whatever I'm forwarding, the frame size is not fixed, the user data is not fixed in size, in that case we have to tell the receiver that my frame starts from here and my frame ends here. Okay, for that flagging purpose we are using here 88-bit beginning sequence and ending sequence. Okay, we are going to learn how to beginning and ending sequence would be happen. And what is the header? Your header contains address and control field. Address and control field. What is the address control field? Why we use these control fields, we are going to see in this chapter. And body, your body means the payload, whatever the information you are transferring. That means your user information, you are sending any SMS, SMA message, or hi, hello, or good morning, whatever the message would be, that's considered as payload in this session. Okay, next, cyclic redundancy check. Why we use cyclic redundancy check? We use cyclic redundancy check for error detection kind of things. If the frame is corrupted in middle, in that case we are going to use this CRC to detect that whether the received frame is proper or not. With the help of this CRC only, we are going to understand the whether the received the thing. Okay, these are the 5 things. That means whenever I can have my proper in the whenever I receive the data from the my network layer to uh, data link layer, my data link layer has the capability of making that frame format properly, so that it can forward to the physical layer, and at the receiver end that can be accessed properly, and it is going to access the proper data with the help of CRC, and it is going to have the proper information at the receiver end, so that the data won't be corrupted, and all the information, that means the receiver sender information would be received and it is going to removed. Okay, with the help of this data link layer protocol, we are going to do all these things. That means first sequencing, beginning and ending sequencing, and header. In header also we have 2 things. First one is address, and the second control field. Control field will generate the what kind of information we are transferring. Here frames are the things. There are 2 things, that means you can send the data as well as you can send the acknowledgement, yes or no. You can send acknowledgement also a kind of data only, and your data also, whatever the data, hi, hello, good morning kind of information also, your payload also the information. So both are, we have to send through frames only. We are not we do not have any other options. We have to send the frames in the frame, in the form of frames only, to the receiver. So we will have the control fields to specify that what kind of data it contains, either it is the user data or acknowledgement or some other information that we are going to discuss in this particular thing. First, that means you have, whenever you are learning your HDLC control protocol, in that if you frame the your frame, that means if you manage to have the proper frame in your thing, that would be the great thing. The other side also, the protocol, as whatever the protocol is nothing but your set of rules. Okay, how you are designing your own frame and how you are transferring that frame properly to the receiver end. The receiver also have that set of rules to understand your frame, as well as he has to understand, and it has to acquire the information whatever you are sending from receiver to sender. It has to acquire that payload properly, and it is going to convert that particular into proper data, and it is going to understand the data properly. Then only it is going to be a very successful protocol all over the world. Okay, HDLC is the successful protocol, and this is the base protocol for all over the world, and ISO has decided this is the base protocol for the your data link layer. Okay, protocols. Okay, today we are going to discuss about the how the sequencing will happen, and header, how the header will happen, what things will happen in your header, and what about your payload body things, and the cyclic redundancy check. Here you can see my first and last ending sequence and beginning sequence. These are the one byte, that means 8-bit sequence. Beginning and ending will have 8-bit sequences. Okay, and the header has 2 bytes. 2 bytes means address, combination of address and control field. That is the 2 bytes, that is 16 bit. And the body, it is the variable size. If it is fixed size, I need not to have this beginning sequence and ending sequence, but it the my body variable size as the variable size. So we have to make it as body as the variable size. Okay, after that, CRC. For error detection, we have 16-bit code here in CRC that we are going to discuss. Okay, this is the basic frame format. In that, we have different types of frames also there. I frame, U frame, S frame also there. There are 3 types of frames in your HDLC protocol that we are discussing in these things. Okay, first overall picture of your frame format. First, beginning and ending sequences. Header, which contains address and control field. We are going to discuss how the address is evaluated, which address we are going to have, either sender address, receiver address, how, which addresses we are going to keep in your header, and what control field, how to put the control fields to say that this my frame is about the information frame, or some other unnumbered frame, or some other frame. How we are going to use this control field to specify that this is the user information or the acknowledgement or whatever it means. Okay, next, body, that is the, as usual, if it is contain, if it is the information frame, then only we will have the information into this body or payload. Okay, cyclic redundancy is very important for the user information as well as acknowledgement, negative acknowledgements. Otherwise, what will happen if the person sends the acknowledgement, but middleware or somewhere else, he has someone has modified acknowledgement to negative acknowledgement? What will happen? The other person will thinks that he did not receive, he will send again the frame. That would be the not correct thing. That's the reason for all the things, for all whatever the acknowledgement or the user information, for that we need to have a error detection techniques at the here. Okay, these are the basic things for your frame. Okay, how we are going to design all these things, that we are going to discuss in the next slides. Okay, first of all, frames. we have three types of frames in your things. Here I have a frame, all the things available in this particular thing frame format, but in HDLC we have three types of frames. Three types of frames: iframes, s frames, u frames. Iframe means nothing but it is an information frame. Information frame, whatever the which contains the user data. We have the user data inside that particular thing. If the frame contains user data, in that case it is going to call it as, we are going to call it as iframe or information frames. Okay, only iframes uses piggybacking. That means whenever you are transferring the data, it is going to information transformation. In that receiver can also be sent some acknowledgement or some other frames to the right side. That is the piggybacking concept in your thing. Okay, next, supervisory frame, S frames. S frames are used only to transport the control information. Control information. Whenever I'm saying S frame, the S frame contains either acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. Okay, whenever I'm forwarding the S frame, that means I'm sending the acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement to the sender or receiver. Acknowledgement or negative. S frame is nothing but your acknowledgement or negative control information that contains control information. We are going to forward to the sender or receiver at the both the sides. Okay, unnumbered frames. Third frame is unnumbered frames. Okay, u frames are the reserved for system management. That means, okay, my I have two devices, one secondary, primary and secondary. In this case, what I need to have, there is a connection. I don't know I have the connection with that particular secondary device or not. Okay, meanwhile, from last 1 or 2 hours, we are not communicating each other. 1 hour or 2 hours, we are not communicating each other with these two devices, for primary and secondary devices. If you take this combined devices, in that case we are discussing, we are not connecting each other from last 1 hour or 2 hours. In that case I come to know whether the particular second device, that is the this device, that if you take it as A and B, I want to know, I am alive. A and B both are alive, but I come to know if the B device is alive or which is switched off. I don't know. And the timer is also available or not there in the both the sides. We have to have the timer also. In this case, whenever I want to know the what is the status of the B device. In that case, I will send a unnumbered frame, U frame. That is the system management. For system management, I use U frame to check whether the particular thing as that intended to, the link is safe or not, the link is established or not, and what are the things we have that links, whatever the device secondary combined devices are there that are alive or not. For that kind of information, we used to have system management thing, unnumbered frames. Okay, for this we do not have any sequence number. I will send a unnumbered frame to the receiver secondary device. If I get the acknowledgement or the proper reference to my U frame, in that case I will consider that my link is properly established. I do not have any issues in between my the link between the two devices which are I am using. Okay, with the help of these three types of frames, we are going to communicate each other. Primary and secondary are combined, two combined devices, with the help of these three frames: information frame, supervisory frames, and unnumbered frames. These are the three frames we are going to use in this particular thing. Okay, here what would it have in these three frames? In my iframe, I have 6 fields: flag, address, control, user information, FCS, and flag. Okay, okay. Flag, address, control, user information, FCS, flag. Okay, these are the first and the sequence numbers: address and the control information, user information, FCS, and this is the CRC kind of thing, and this is the flag. This is the information frame. Okay, in information frames we have 6 fields. Okay, you have to remember. Okay, 6 fields: flag, address, control, user information, FCS, and flag. Okay, next, S frame, supervisory frame. In this, flag, address, control, and FCS, flag only. We do not have user information in this. We have 5 fields only in your supervisory frame. Okay, next, in your U frame, that is unnumbered frames. In this you have the management information along with your FCS, flags, address, and control fields. Okay, it has also having 6 fields in your U frame. Okay, we have 3 types of frames: I frame, S frame, and U frame. Each frame has the 5 to 6 fields. Okay, in the iframe you have the 6 fields which contain user information, FCS, control, and flag. And S frame, in S frame you do not have the user information, and the U frame has the management information. All other fields are the common for all the 3 frames. Okay, only the frame is user information, you and the management information in user and in iframe and U frames. Okay, we are going to see one after another each and every frames we are going to discuss in this chapter. Okay, first thing, first of all we will generally discuss what would we have in this flag, address, control, and FCS, and all the things. First of all, my HDLC is the bit oriented things. That means bit stuffing we are using in my HDLC. So my flag must be 8-bit sequence with the bit pattern 0 1 1 1 1 1 0. We have discussed bit stuffing concept in your framing. Yes or no? Bit stuffing, 8-bit sequence, that is the bit pattern 0 1 1 1 1 1 0. That is the flag for our total HDLC protocol frame. Okay, next field is address field. Address field, there are two things: secondary station and primary station. There are two things: primary station and secondary station. If a primary station creates the frame, if the primary station creates that particular frame, in that case we have two address. We have two address. If the secondary station created that particular frame, in that case it is going to have from address. In the both the cases we have the addresses of secondary station only. In both the cases we are having secondary station addresses only in your frames: I frame, S frame, and unnumbered frame. Okay, in both the cases the address field contains secondary station address only. Address field can be 1 byte or several, that we are going to discuss. Okay, here we are using only 1 byte. If the 1 byte address, if you are taking 1 byte address, in that case it is going to end with 1. Okay, your address must be, when how come I come to know what is the address? The address must end with 1. In that case only I am going to find out that particular address is, this is the address information. And if it is the multiple addresses, multiple byte addresses, in that case it going to, every byte will end with 0, every byte will end with 0, and the last byte is going to end with 1. Okay, in this case multiple address, if you are considering the multiple byte address, in that case we are going to have first 2 bytes ends with 0, and last byte must end with 1. Okay, this is the proper criteria for your addressing in your platform. Next, what control field contains? It is 1 or 2 byte segment for the frame used for flow and error control. With the help of control field, we come to know we are going to have the flow and error control mechanism into that particular thing. We are going to use this control field for understanding the flow of flow. We are going to have the either if we are transferring the information properly with the help in flow and error control, we are going to have information. Okay, next, information field. Information, it is contains the user data from the network layer. Its length can be vary from one network to another network. Okay, that is the information. Hi, how are you? That is the user information, user data in that particular information field. Next, FCS field, frame check sequence. Frame check sequence is the error detection field in your HDLC. Error detection field. FCS contain either 2 bytes or 4 byte. CRC 16 or CRC cyclic redundancy 16 or 32 we are using in your frame format. Okay, frame check sequence we are going to use in FCS field in this CRC 16 or CRC 32 we are going to use in your FCS field. We have completed all the fields here. You see flag field, address field. Okay, address field contains only secondary station address. We do not have any primary station addresses. If the station primary stations create the frame, 2 address will be there. If the secondary station creates a frame, in that case from address would be there. In the both the cases, the address is the secondary station address only, and address field must be end with uh, 1 in the uh, 1 byte address. If it is multiple byte address, in that case last byte will end with 1, and the previous bytes would be end with 0. That is the normal contract between contract or the protocol structure of your HDLC. Control field, it is going to have the flow and error control information. Information field have the user information in that particular thing. Frame check some information, it is going to have the error detection. Here we are 2 bytes or 4 bytes information we are going to use. CRC 16 or CRC 32 we are going to use. If it is 4 bytes, CRC 32 we are going to use cyclic redundancy check. If it is 2 bytes, in that case we are going to have the CRC 16 mechanism in your FCS frame check sequence mechanism. Okay, now first of all, the field, first thing we are learned about flag field. We have learned this flag field before itself, so we are not discussing about that thing. That is the bit oriented thing. So 0 1 1 1 1 0. Okay, and one more thing, whenever the information contains or address contains or address any field contains 0 1 1 1 1 1 0, your information, either your information, in that case it is going to have the all after 5 consecutive ones, it is going to add the 0. Okay, after consecutive fives, it is going to add in the user information. That we have already discussed the thing. Now we are going to have start with your control field. This is the second address field. We have already discussed the thing. Okay, address field, from address are the 2 address we are going to from only secondary address we are going to keep in your address. Okay, now the very important thing is the third one, the control field. How the control field is developed, that we are going to see in this mechanism. Okay, first thing, in control field we have 1 byte information, 8 bits. Okay, if the control field starts with 0, in that case we are going to know that the frame contains user information. That frame contains user information. If it is starts with 0, your control field. If the control field starts with 10, in that case we are going to have say that this is the it is the S frame. Okay, it is the S frame, not the supervisory frame. It is not the information frame, information supervisory frame. If it is starting with 10, if your control field starts with control field starts with 1 1, in that case it is called as a U frame. Okay, and what is ns, nr, a pole and final, these kind of thing. This is p by f is nothing but your pole or final, that we are going to discuss in the next slides. Okay, ns, nr and code kind of things we are going to discuss one by one after this. First, iframe, how you are going to identify the control field starts with 0, in that case it is going to be considered as the frame is information frame. If the control field starts with 10, in that case this particular frame is supervisory frame. Okay, if the control field starts with 11, in that case it is going to have, it is the unnumbered frame, U frame. Okay, 3 frames we have. Okay, that with the help of control field only we are going to understand either is the information frame or supervisory frame or unnumbered frame. Okay, we will see one by one what is control field for iframes, how it is going to develop all the things. The first bit is 0, then that define it is a iframe. If it is 0, or as discussed, iframe can include flow and error control information. Okay, iframe can include this particular thing, can have the error flow control information. The subfields in the control field are used to define these functions. Okay, ns is a 3-bit sequence number of a frame. If the sequence numbers are 3-bit sequence numbers, that means ns, whenever I'm saying ns, these 3 bits are defined the sequence number of your frame. ns 3 bits, this one ns 3 bits, we are going to have the sequence numbers for that particular frames 0 to 7. Here we are going to take the 3 bits, that means 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 0. Like this you will have 8 modulo 0 modulo 2 operation, addition operation. With the help of modulo 2 operations we will have the 7 sequences, 8 bits, 8 combination you will have, 8 bits you are going to define. So second, third, fourth bit sequence numbers are, you are going to have 0 to 7. Every frame has 7 sequence numbers. That means if you are sending the sequence numbers, that particular sequence numbers will be considered with the help of this ns only, ns and ns only. Whenever if you are getting the iframe, first frame, with the help of 0, I come to know it is a frame. Okay, iframe, information frame. After that we have 3 different ns bits. With the help of these 3 bits I come to know what is the sequence number of my frame. Okay, I come to know the sequence number of that particular frame. nr, this is a 3-bit acknowledgement ack number occupied last 3 bits used to for piggybacking. If it is nr, this is we are going to have 3-bit acknowledgement number. If you are sending 3 sequence of 0 1 2, okay, whenever I'm sending the acknowledgement to the to me, in that case I'm going to have 3 bits, same thing, 0 to 7 acknowledgement numbers for that particular piggybacking. At the same time we are going to have the transformation. If I have 7 frames from right side to sender to receiver, the same thing I have 0 to 7 acknowledgement for that particular frame has received or not received properly. We will have the 7 nr fields, nr bits, 3 bits acknowledgement would be occupies that particular thing. Okay, the fifth bit is pole or final. Okay, pole or final. The fifth bit decides that either the frame is transferring the primary to secondary or secondary to primary. Okay, your pf pole or final bit, fifth bit is going to decide either the information transferring primary to secondary device or secondary to primary device. Pole means primary to secondary device, final means secondary to primary device, secondary to primary device. Is it clear, ma? FTF, pole or final, primary to secondary or secondary to primary. Next, S frame. First information frame we have completed. Next, if the first two bits of the control field is 10, in that case we are going to understand that it is a S frame. In this we have two things. First one is code and next one is NR. Code and NR. What is code? Supervisory frame are used to for flow and error control whenever the piggybacking is inappropriate. That means we are, whenever we are transferring the data from two sides at a time, we are transferring the piggybacking we are using. If it is not possible in some kind of devices, some kind of environments, in that case we are going to have the flow error control with the help of supervisory frames. S frames do not have the information. In this, we do not have the information field. The NR represent correspond to the acknowledgement or the negative acknowledgement depending on the S frames. And we have the code fields. In the code field, we have four things. Code field has only 2 bits. Okay, 2 bits means you can have 0, 1, 2, or 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3 codes would be there. There are 4 codes. For that, for 4 codes, we have different meanings for that particular 4 codes. First code, 0, 0. Receive and ready. In this case, save sound frame has received at the secondary station. Whenever the secondary station sends the 00 bit, means uh, received properly, the frame has received properly, I am ready to receive next frame. Okay, it is going to say that receive ready, RR 000 means I am safely I have received the particular frame, so you can send the next frame. Okay, NR field defines the acknowledgement. NR field defines that particular acknowledgement, either it is the proper acknowledgement or the acknowledgement. Here we are not going to use NAK. Okay, in this case acknowledgement number we are going to have. Receive ready, in this case we are going to take the understand that I have received properly that particular frame. Which frame I have received properly? With the help of acknowledgement number, NR field, that is either 1 or 2 or 7, till the 7 we have the acknowledgement. According to that particular acknowledgement, I have received that particular frame properly, I can say. Okay, if the code word is 00, if the code word is 01, receive but not ready. I have received the particular frame, but I am not ready to receive the next frames. Why? I am busy in processing the frames which you have sent. With the help of that particular thing, if I am saying 01, in that case the receiver is busy and cannot receive the more frames. It is a mechanism by asking the sender to slow down. The value of NR is also acknowledgement. In this also we are sending only acknowledgement. I have received this particular this particular frame to me. That particular frame has received a 7th or 6th or 5th frame has received properly, but I am not ready. Don't send me. Please uh, slow down your sending mechanism. Okay. Next, second, this is the second code. Third code is the reject 0. If you are sending 01, please reject. It is not going to, cannot be used in the go back anywhere. It is negative acknowledgement frame that can be used in how we are used In go back n ARQ, we are using here the same thing. Reject the value of NR is negative acknowledgement. That means I haven't received the data at the receiver end properly, so you have to resend that particular thing with the go back in ARQ. In the go back in ARQ, what we have done, we can send 4 packets at a time. The particular we are going to the whenever the particular NAK has received to me, the sliding window, whatever the slides they have, they are going to send all the frames whatever that in that particular buffer space, it is going to resend that particular to me. Okay, in the negative, in this particular thing, we are going to have the negative acknowledgement. We are not using selective repeat, we are going to use go back n ARQ in this particular. Whenever I am sending the reject message reg01, the code word is 01. Next, SREG. In this particular thing, selective repeat ARQ, it is going to, whenever it is, I am sending double one, it is the negative acknowledgement is going to send that particular frame only, it is going to resend me with the help of this particular thing. Okay, here selective repeat ARQ it is going to use. The value of NR is negative acknowledgement, not the normal acknowledgement number. Okay, this is about your S frame. S frame. Now coming to the U frames. What U frames will have? In U frames you have 2 code words. Okay, and the U frame starts with 1 and 1. Okay, whenever I am saying 1 and 1, it is the U frame. Unnumbered frames are used to exchange session management and the control information between the devices. U frame contains the information field, but the user to system management information, not user data. We are going to use U frames to transfer the system information. The system is alive or not, that kind of information we are going to use. User frames codes are divided into 2 sections, 2 plus 3, 5 bits. 2 bits prefix before PF bit, and 3 bits, three bit suffix after the this particular thing. How these U information understand each other with the help of these 5 bits, we are going to see in this particular. Okay, I have these combination, these many combinations of U frames: 00 00 001, 5 bits. In that case, SNRM, set normal response mode. Set normal response mode. Okay, 11011 is in this case set normal response mode extended. These are the particular meanings of having the 2 devices have the different issues. So we are they are communicating each other to set that particular response and requests in the particular fields. Okay, unnumbered information, if you are sending the all the 5 zeros, in that case UI, unnumbered information is going to forward. UA, in that case 00110, in that case unnumbered acknowledgement it is going to exchange between these two things. System information, it is not about the user information, and these are the reset, XID, frame reject, these kind of information user, not the user information, these are the system informations transfer from the secondary devices to primary devices. Okay, it has the its own significance in their frame format. That means most probably we are going to have the when you are going to discuss reset all the information, reset the timer, and all the discussion will be come across with the help of user frames. U frames, not user unnumbered frames. Unnumbered frame, with the help of unnumbered frames we are going to have these all these kind of information in your things. Okay, you don't much and you need not to understand all these code words, all the things. Just remember that thing, how these particular frames will help you in the mutual communication between the sender and receiver. Okay, system information exchange. With the help of information exchange, we are going to have this particular thing. Okay. Okay, example of piggybacking without an error. Okay, we are transferring the data from one place to another place with the help of piggybacking without an error. We do not have any errors in that particular thing. So first of all, iframe has data frame 0 has forwarded to the node. Okay, node A to node B. Here you see in this flow control, first frame 0 has transferred, frame 2 has transferred. Next, iframe data frame 0 has transferred. Next, iframe from piggybacking means at the same continuous time it is going to forward here from high to high. Yeah, that means both the sides it is going to send data frame 0 and 1 sent from node A to node B. In the meanwhile, the frame 0, 1 and 2 has forwarded from B to A. Okay, B to A. One frame 0, frame 1 and frame 2. Okay, and the last thing, the s frame, that is my acknowledgement 3 has sent to node B. That means the particular third frame or the second frame has reached me properly to me, so it has sent the acknowledgement 3 to that particular thing. That means acknowledgement 3 means it has to node B has to send the next frame. Why? Whenever we are sending the acknowledgement, we will send the next frame number. Acknowledgement number must be next frame number only. So we are sending the acknowledgement of the frame 3. So whenever I am sending acknowledgement 3, in that case I am ready to accept the third frame here. It is the without error. If some error, piggybacking with an error. Okay, piggybacking with an error, in this case what will happen? First of all, 0 frame has sent. Okay, node B to node A. Second frame 1 has sent to that particular thing. Okay, after that frame 2 has sent. Okay, in this particular thing, it is going to my node A has sent a negative acknowledgement. In that case, that particular negative acknowledgement, it is going to send that particular frame. So it is going to send me the negative acknowledgement. Whatever the negative acknowledgement received at the node B, it is going to send the same frame. Whatever the frame you have lost in middle way, that is going to resend that particular node B to node A. Data frame 1 again it is sending. Okay, next data frame 2, it is sending. Why? We are using data frame negative acknowledgement and selective repeat. Not selective repeat. We have used go back in ARQ. Go back in ARQ. Go back in ARQ. What will happen? Whenever you get the negative acknowledgement, it is going to send all the frames again. Once again, first and second, it is going to send again all the, it is discarded, and it is going to resend the two frames again to that particular node A in your HDLC process. Okay, ma, this is about your high level data link control and your frame format. The most important thing in this frame format is control information and what type of that particular. With the help of that control field, we are going to find out which frame is transferring from the sender to receiver. Okay, how many file fields are in I frame? 5 fields. S frame I frame 6 fields. Is 5, and you also have the 6 frames in this particular thing. FCS, we are going to use FCS thing. Here you see FCS. In FCS we are either you are going to use 2 byte or 4 byte. If it is 2 byte, CRC cyclic redundancy 16 or CRC cyclic redundancy 32, we are going to use in this particular FCS in the three conditions. Cyclic redundancy check we are going to use for error detection kind of things in your HDLC protocol. Any doubts in this particular thing, please let me know. We will discuss next 5 to 10 minutes about that particular thing only. After that, we will move on with our quiz, today's quiz. After that, we have only media access control protocols. We have a media access control protocol. By we will discuss. And one more thing, I want to ask you a question. How many of you are listening through Windows laptops or a laptop? You are using laptops and your laptops contain Windows environment, so that I can accordingly plan for your labs, DCN labs. Please respond, ma. After HDLC, we have multiple access protocols, random access, Aloha, control access protocols, channelization protocols. If we complete this particular thing and wireless 802.11 MAC protocol, we are done with your second unit also. In this, if you have any doubts, please let me know. HDLC protocol, this is the base protocol for all the things. How the frame is transferred from frame is developed and transferred from one station to another station, primary station to secondary station. Any doubts? DCC and totally we depend on the protocols. That means protocols is nothing but your contract, the contract between sender and receiver. How the contract is made, we are going to learn in this particular chapters. We do not have any the things like your mathematical all the things. We will have only contracts between sender and receiver. Can you hear me properly, ma? Please respond on chat box. If you give me your poll information about your are you using mobile phones or laptops, please let me know. If it is most of you are using Windows laptops, in that case I am going to start my first lab in the next week. That would be great. Otherwise we are lagging. Okay, laptop with Windows, please let me how many of you. At least if I get 30, 40, 50 or 60, in that case I will start my next week onwards. I will start my labs and I will I'll let you know. I will send the step-by-step information how to install the software, also how to utilize that particular project, that particular software also I will send you through WhatsApp channel. Okay, laptop plus W if you are using. Okay, good. Okay, good. If you are using mobile phone, that would be very problematic, ma. Otherwise it would be okay. You can learn the how we are doing, but we do not have that kind of infrastructure right now because of pandemic situation. So we have to, otherwise what will happen last after 2 months or 2 3 months, we are going to have total labs at once. That would be very hectic for us. At least we complete 4 5 lab programs meanwhile. That would be easy. Last after second first meet or second meet, we are going to have the different other things, and we come to know the things. Okay, I will share you tomorrow. We are going to discuss about media access control protocols. Okay, media access control protocols. Okay, and every time whenever I'm when we have mitzvah, that we do not have till now, we do not have anything about that particular thing. But there may be a they said October second week, but there is no chance of having that particular thing. We come to know by this weekend or by starting the 15th or 15th 15th or 16th, by October 15th or 16th, we are gonna come to know what is the timing for that particular your mids as well as your second year main exams also. Two exams. We are going to have the second year two exams also in the November. So we are going to have the clear idea by October 15th. Meanwhile, you think that we have the exams for first two units in the October 20 or 25, in that time, last week of your October. You prepare well for your first meet. If you have any doubts in this HTLC protocol or any other protocols, please let me know, and we will discuss once again all the protocols if you require. These are the simple things. I am not making you precisely, I am making you simply what are the things you need. If I go if I explain you each and every part of this particular thing, you will be confused, and you will waste on lots of time in this particular thing. You remember all the things, SRNM. I can explain 3 or 4 slides on a set normal response mode and all the response that are not very important. If you know the how your why U frame is and how it is utilized in your normal transmission. So our mids would be via offline mode or online mode. That also we do not have any uh, information about that particular thing. Only JNDU knows and God knows. If the according to we have to follow this thing through JNDU only for next 3 or 4 years till we get the uh, autonomous college. If it is autonomous, in that case we most of times we have the online mode exams only using Tesslator and other platforms. Okay, meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can keep it on the chart board. Meanwhile, I will activate the quiz. You can start your quiz. Today we have more number of MCQs, and these are the tricky things. You have to read all the responses, otherwise all the options, otherwise you will lose your marks. Please read all the responses only. Sir, if the mates are there, then we have to study 3-1 and 2-2 simultaneously, sir. It would be really tough and stressful. Yes, I know, ma, but they won't have that kind of things. They will prolong either these things or that things, 3-1 or 2. They will give you some preparation holidays also, according to that, 1 week or 2 weeks. And the questionnaire also changed from last year to this year. Only you have 5 questions to answer in the 2 hours for two exams. The same time, we may have the difference in mids also. Most probably, quiz kind of things would be increased, and your written test would be less in number.